All right. Good morning, everybody. Thanks again for joining us. We are going to take a little look into a Gloria Dei journey to Norway happening this August. We're going to go over a little bit more about the details of the tour, who we are as Brecky Tours, what you can expect during a typical day. And at the end, I'll just open it up to some of the questions that you had submitted on your registration form. I'll get answers to those, and then I'll try to answer any questions that you may have that popped into your head while the presentation was going on. There is a chat function down in the bottom right-hand corner. If you want to send questions in, I'll get those at the end. All right, so let's get started. First, I'm Amanda Hancock. So I've been with Brecky Tours for 17 years, and there's our contact information. If you have any questions, please feel free to give us a call or send us an email. We'll be happy to answer those. If I don't get to you today, I'm sorry. We'll try to get as many questions as we can answered though. All right. So why would you want to visit Norway? So there's many reasons, but I've summed up a few here. The first is the natural beauty and phenomena of Norway. You have glaciers, fjords, mountains, forests, the midnight sun during the summer, the northern lights during the winter. These can all be found in Norway. And it also has a truly rich history filled with Vikings, kings and queens, wars, great wealth, hardships, and so much more. Now, the culture of the Scandinavian countries are all uniquely distinct, yet at the same time, each can be quite similar. So, for instance, in Norway, nature, family, education, and hard work are all highly valued, and that's pretty much true throughout all the Scandinavian countries. Most Norwegians speak very good English, making it an easy place to get around on your own. And speaking of which, the public transportation in Norway is very good. With buses, trains, and low cost flights to choose from, it's easy to get from point A to point B. The food, you have fresh seafood, freshly baked bread, fresh fruit. You can all find these in Norway. And finally, Norway is a relatively safe destination. In fact, you may see babies sleeping in their strollers outside of shops and restaurants. So why should you travel with Brecky Tours? And for those of you wondering about our connection to Norway and Scandinavia, Brecky Tours was founded in 1956 when Arne Brecky, a student from Norway, worked his way through graduate school in America by conducting summer tours in Europe. We are a family-owned company. We're located in Grand Forks, North Dakota, and we're a full-service Scandinavian specialist with over 65 years of experience in travel within Scandinavia. Our escorted tours feature destinations that you won't find on other tours, and you won't find our tours anywhere else. Both our escorted tours and independent travel packages can be customized with side trips to visit areas of heritage. We can add pre and post tour extensions. And if we can't make that work, we can create a completely customized travel itinerary. While on our escorted tours, you won't have to worry about additional expenses for tours or sightseeing activities. What you see on the itinerary is what is included. And if you want to add a cruise or combine your trip with a visit to another country, that's not a problem. We can help with those arrangements so that you only have one contact person for your entire vacation. And finally, when you travel with Brecky Tours, you can be sure that you will be treated as a valued client, not just another body in a seat. So our goal is to make your travel experience meaningful, which means providing you with excellent customer service from the first phone call until you return home from your trip. To give you an idea of what to expect during a typical day while on tour, I've created this short summary. Now, obviously, this might vary depending on what you have going on for the day, but you'll start out with the Scandinavian breakfast buffet at the hotel. And then we do include several stops throughout the day for food, bathroom breaks, and activities. So you'll leave the hotel usually between 8:30 and 9. You'll have short walks throughout the day, again, for these activities and for stops along the way. And I'm sorry, that picture for some reason moved over, so it's cutting off some of the text. The group usually arrives to the hotel early in the evening, and there usually is time for a walk, relaxation, or even a swim before dinner. Now, while on board the bus during the day, your tour director will keep the group entertained with information. You might hear some songs, you might get some language lesson, and much more. Now, before the group goes their separate way in the evenings, the tour director will advise of the departure time for the next day. So we do try to give everybody a little bit of time just to, if they want to, go shopping in the evening, especially in larger cities. We try to allow a little bit more time and flexibility for people that want to do something maybe on their own. They want to go visit an art museum or something like that. Speaking of tour directors and our guides, our tour director will typically meet the group arriving at the airport within Norway, and they'll stay with the group until you arrive at the departing airport. Our tour directors hail from the US as well as Scandinavia, and English is the only language spoken on the tour. However, we do try to throw in a little bit of Norwegian just so those that are inclined can learn some new words and phrases. We also have local guides that will join the group for short periods of time. They are there to provide detailed knowledge about a city, museum, or historical site. Now, while traveling through Norway, you'll primarily get around by a first class motor coach. Whether you're traveling on one of our larger buses or one of the smaller ones, you'll travel in comfort. They have large windows, reclining seats with footrest, and personal comfort controls for the air conditioner. So you can sit back and let your professional driver get you from point A to point B. We'll also enjoy some train rides and cruises along the fjords through Norway. So now we're going to take a dive in and take a closer look at the tour that you've been invited to join in 2024 with Pastor Selbo. So starting in Oslo, you will travel north to the Viking capital of Trondheim, and then you'll turn south before you wind up in Norway's second largest city of Bergen. So you'll depart the US on August 5th and you'll arrive in Oslo on August 6th. You'll spend 2 nights in Oslo, and then before you leave, you'll enjoy a city tour. Now, the next destination is Lillehammer, but en route, you'll visit Eidsvoll, which is where the Norwegian Constitution was signed back in 1814. Next, you'll stop in for a visit at the Hamar Glass Cathedral, which was constructed to preserve cathedral ruins from 1152. From Hamar, it's a short drive to Lillehammer, and that's where you will spend the night. So day 5 begins with a drive through the Gudbrandsdals Valley. You'll stop for a visit at the Ringebu Church, which is the only safe church along the pilgrimage route to Trondheim. It's a historic area with many protected buildings and living cultural monuments. You'll also enjoy lunch at a farm before continuing to historic Røros. After a night at the Røros Hotel, you'll learn about the copper mining town on a city sightseeing tour. It is one of the 2 towns in Norway that were designated mining towns, along with the silver town of Kongsberg. Røros has about 80 wooden houses, most of them standing around courtyards that are still in use today. These buildings are preserved from the 17 and 1800s and are the reason that Røros is listed on the UNESCO World Heritage List. In the afternoon, you'll head to Selbo, where you will spend the night. On day 7, you will travel to Trondheim. En route, you'll stop at Stiklestad, which is the site of the famous Battle of 1030. The battle was one of the most famous battles in the history of Norway, and it was the battle in which King Olaf II of Norway was killed. Today, the Stiklestad Church sits on the site of the Battle of Stiklestad, and during the battle, St. Olaf received 3 severe wounds in the knee, in the neck, and then the final mortal blow through the heart. He died leaning against a large stone, and the church building is assumed to have been erected in the exact spot where St. Olaf was killed during that battle, and supposedly the stone is still inside the altar of the church. After a visit to Stiklestad, you'll drive to Trondheim, and that's where we will spend the night. So the morning of August 12th begins with a sightseeing tour of Trondheim, featuring the Nidaros Cathedral. Nidaros is one of the world's northernmost Gothic medieval cathedral. And inside you can marvel at the stained glass windows, the towering arches, and the famous Wagner organ. It's only one of five remaining, and the other four are all in the Berlin area. After a sightseeing tour, you're free to explore the city on your own. So you may wish to visit the old town for a bite at one of the cafes. You could visit the Ringva Museum, which is filled with a variety of historical musical instruments. Or if something more modern is your style, check out the Rockheim Museum. It's dedicated to Norway's popular music. So on day 9, you'll get up, you'll enjoy your breakfast, and then you'll have a really nice drive on the Atlantic Ocean Road. So this road you may know from car commercials. It's featured a lot. It was opened in 1989, and it won the title Norwegian Construction of the Century back in 2005. It is one of 18 national tourist routes in Norway. So you'll arrive at the fishing village of Bud, and here you'll enjoy lunch and a visit to Irgen Fort, which was a German coastal fort. It was built during the war years of 1940 to 1945. Today, it serves as a war memorial museum, and it features exhibitions of local and regional events from World War II. Then you'll continue on to the city of roses, which is Molde. With this temperate climate, Molde became a tourist hotspot and featured an idyllic township with quaint wooden houses, lush gardens and parks, and pavilions. Thus, it earned the nickname of City of Roses. After World War II, two-thirds of the town was destroyed, and Molde was rebuilt to become a modern city, encompassing farming and fisheries to industrial production, banking, higher education, and of course, tourism. And tonight you'll stay at the Scandic Hotel, and it's iconic for its cell-shaped building. Another exciting drive awaits you on day 10, and this time it's the famous Trolls Path. So Trollstigen is known internationally as a feat of engineering, with some areas featuring the road carved into stone or into mountain itself. The road features 11 hairpin bends and offers stunning views along the way. From Geiranger, you'll cruise the Geiranger Fjord to Hellesilt. You can enjoy a cup of coffee as you cruise past small mountain farms clinging to the cliffs and some of Norway's most famous waterfalls, including the Seven Sisters and the Bridal Veil. From Hellesilt, you'll drive to Loen for overnight at the exquisite Hotel Alexandra. Now, day 11 brings you into Norway's fabulous fjord country. First, you'll begin with a ride via a troll cart to the Brickstall Glacier. You'll have the chance to feel the cool glacier waters before hopping back on the bus to Skei. Now, if you've been waiting to purchase souvenirs, today you'll want to it is the perfect opportunity for you to do a bit of shopping. We're going to stop at Oddhild Viken's Weaving Workshop. But if shopping isn't really your thing, you can relax and enjoy a snack and a cup of coffee instead. You'll then drive through the world's second longest tunnel, which is 15.23 miles long. And the tunnel is actually divided into four sections, separated by three large mountain caves. So this helps break up the drive because it can be rather monotonous once you get inside the tunnel. So while the main tunnel has white lights, which you come to expect, the caves have blue lighting and yellow lights at the fringes to give the impression of sunrise. So you'll arrive at your hotel in Flum in the evening. On day 12, you'll enjoy a ride on the famous Flum Railway. Ranked as one of the top train rides in Europe, you'll ascend 2,800 feet within 13 miles from Flum to the mountaintop station of Myrdal. You'll pass through 20 tunnels, most of which were excavated by hand, and there's even a horseshoe-shaped tunnel that spirals in and out of the mountain. At Myrdal, you'll switch to the Oslo-Bergen line and continue to Voss. Here you'll meet your intrepid bus driver and continue to Bergen. In Bergen, you'll be welcomed at the Opus 16 Hotel, which is your home for your final 2 nights in Norway. So on your last full day in Norway, you're going to start out with a walking tour of the historic Hanseatic Wharf. You'll learn about the area's history and its importance as part of the Hanseatic League's trading empire from the 14th to the mid-16th century. Then the rest of your day is free to explore Bergen, and you'll have a farewell dinner at the hotel. So with all of that, just a quick overview of the price. So right now we have estimated price because we have early registration going on for this tour. So with air taxes and fuel, so that's your airfare from Minneapolis, all of the services that we just talked about, the total is $65.95 per person based on double occupancy. If you are planning to travel as a single, there is a single room supplement of $13.95. So we did have several questions that were submitted on the registration form, so I wanted to try and answer those just really quick, and then I'll open it up for any questions that you may have thought of as I was kind of going through the tour. So the first one is, what kind of clothing should I pack? We always recommend clothing that you can layer. Temperatures in Norway can range from the mid 50s to 70s during the months of August, but it really will depend on where you are. So, mountains and any areas near water are usually cooler. Casual clothing is the norm on our escorted tours, and you'll want to bring good walking shoes. You'll also want to bring a jacket and perhaps a raincoat, as it can be chilly in the morning and evenings. Some other things that you may just want to pack would be an umbrella or a poncho, snacks, medications, including over-the-counter medications. Sometimes it's hard to get, just like basic Tylenol or something like that in Norway. Sunscreen and a small day pack where you can store sweaters, a water bottle, and your snacks. So we did have somebody ask about additional costs. We do include all of your breakfast and most dinners during your trip. However, lunches are usually left up to you. So you can expect to spend between $5 to $15 for a lunch in Norway. However, if you eat a large breakfast and bring a snack with you, and then you eat a decent dinner, you'll find that you really won't be needing lunch very often. Other expenses are usually of a personal nature, such as laundry, drinks at dinner, if you have any taxis, if you wanted to visit a museum or something like that, as well as gratuities for the driver and your tour guide and tour director. So I would recommend bringing a bag of snacks with you on your trip, trail mix, energy bars, chips, things like that. And also pack an empty water bottle. The tap water in Norway is perfectly safe to drink, and you can save $2 to $3 on a bottle of water just by refilling your own every day before you leave the hotel. And then on the way home, you can use that bag to store your souvenirs. Stopover and extension options. So we had somebody ask about these, and if you would like to add a little bit more time in Scandinavia, we are happy to help you with those arrangements. So more information on these options will be sent along with your confirmation packet once the tour has been confirmed. So that information will be be forthcoming. But if you do have any questions in the meantime, feel free to call and we can talk to you about it. So we're happy to do that. And we did have somebody ask about flying from somewhere other than Minneapolis, and that is not a problem. We are happy to assist with flights from other areas. Information on how to request a quote, and if you want to do like a stopover or an extension, again, that information will be coming in the confirmation packets once the tour has been confirmed. So, and with that in mind, I'm gonna bring up the slide that has our contact information once again. So if you do have questions, feel free to call us or email us, and we'll be happy to answer questions or, just talk through things. So if anybody has any questions, you feel free to type those in the bottom right-hand corner, and I will try and answer those for you right now. You guys are very quiet today. Hopefully, I've answered all of the questions that you may have, but if you are like me and maybe you think of something later, um, again, please feel free to call us and or email us, and we'd be happy to answer those. So, if nobody has any questions, I guess I can let you guys go on about your day. Oh, um, so actually, Mary Beth had asked about when the tour might be confirmed. I am not sure at this time. That would be something that I would need to check in with our office. I know our owner, Sharbrecki, has been working with Pastor Selbo on this. So I would need to check in with her to see where we are with that. But I would expect within the next month or so. So, sometime January, February. And so hopefully that information will be forthcoming in the next few weeks. So, Tim, you had asked if the tour is less than 25, does cost go up a bit? Typically, we try not to raise costs if at all possible. A lot of times what we will do is try to reduce services. Maybe, we take out a dinner or something like that, or we change hotels. Anything that we can really do to help keep the costs what we had estimated. That's really what we try to do first before we go back and tell people that, hey, there's a price increase because we didn't get the number of people that we anticipated. But again, that would be something that Shar would need to answer, but that's usually what we try to do. So we try to give everybody a really good experience for their travel budget. And so really I mean, we want everybody to have a good time and to enjoy their trip. And we don't want people to think that they're being charged more than what they are getting for their money, if that makes sense. All right, we have somebody typing. Oh, okay. Mary asked about cell phone and exchange rates. So if you have an international plan on your cell phone, that is great. It will probably work in Norway. I don't, and what I will do a lot of times is just use the Wi-Fi connection for my phone. So there's several different apps that you can use to place phone calls using Wi-Fi. So like I have an Apple phone, so I can FaceTime my parents back home because they also have an iPhone. And so there's different apps that you can use. So that way you don't really have to purchase a international travel plan, and it doesn't cost anything extra to do that. And Wi-Fi is readily available at the hotels, and it's most of the time available on the bus as well. I know I've been traveling along and FaceTiming with my parents, and having the video camera pointed out the window, going, "Look what I'm looking at." So the service is actually pretty good for the Wi-Fi. Exchange rates. So currently in Norway, I would say the exchange rate is about 10. So 10 Norwegian kroner to $1, and which is actually pretty good. So it's pretty decent right now. So just to kind of, if something is 500 kroner, then it would be about $50, in US dollars. So just to kind of give you just a quick mental math. So hopefully that helps. We do offer, so anybody that's thinking of joining the tour, just to kind of give you guys a heads up, we do another webinar usually before the summer, so like May and early June, for people that are actually traveling on our tours. And so we answer lots of questions and provide you guys with information on what to really expect on our tours and any updated information that has come across in the meantime. So it would be something that if you have signed up, it would be something to look out for, because we'll send everybody an invitation, much like you received from our office um, for this webinar. So, and it would be similar. It would be me hosting it. And so I try to answer questions that people have about traveling to Norway and Scandinavia and what they can expect when they're traveling with us over the summer. Electrical outlet. So it's a two-prong outlet, 220 volts. And so the prongs are round. So depending on your device, you might need a converter. So if it's something that is only 110 volt, which can only be used here in the US, then you would need a converter and an adapter. So the converter will convert the electricity and the adapter will change the plug. Now, if it's something, a lot of devices nowadays are dual voltage. So again, like your cell phone chargers, you can get um, curling irons and things like that, personal devices that you might need that a lot of times are dual voltage. And with that, you just need an adapter. Adapters are relatively inexpensive. They're like $3 to $5. And they can be found usually at like Target, and you can get them on Amazon, things like that. The converters are usually a little bit more, and those are going to run probably $30 to $35. But with that, you also get adapters. So it's kind of a complete kit. And if you don't have a converter, it's definitely not a bad idea to get one. Um, just to have and bring with you. It just makes, because usually a lot of times the converters will have multiple plugs, so you can use just one outlet and charge multiple devices. Oh, okay. Tim, Pastor Selbo, wanted to just say that him and Mary will offer a Zoom to get to know everyone and talk through any questions and time leading up to the trip. So that'll be nice. So Tim, let us know if there's anything that we can do to help with that. So we'd be happy to, cooperate with you on that. Um, but yeah, if anybody has any more questions, I kind of scheduled this for an hour, but it was kind of a quick presentation. So I'm happy to answer any more questions that you might have today. Everybody's pretty quiet. And then, so one last slide I have for you guys, and it's just a nice little picture of Geiranger and the Geiranger Fjord, and you can see Trollstigen back there in the back with the windy road going up the valley. Um, So if it's something that you are planning to join this summer, that could be a view you will be seeing in a few months. So we hope that you can join us and the Gloria Dei congregation and friends of the congregation. If you do have questions or would like to register for this tour, please please reach out to us and we can get that information over to you. And if you've already signed up for the tour and you want to invite family and friends, well, then let us know and we are happy to send that information to them as well. And if there's no other questions, then thank you everyone for your time today. Everybody will get a copy of the recording in case you want to go back and look at something in a little bit more detail, or if you want to share this with people that you think might want to travel with you. Traveling is fun, and it's even more fun when you can bring family and friends along with you. So we hope to see you all in Norway this summer. Thank you again for your time, and I hope you have a wonderful day.